cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and your dirty loving, all your hugs and kisses and your money too. Well, you know you love me, baby. Still you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. When you say goodbye, yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry.
First time I met her was in 1959. She was a cheerleader, no, 1958. She was a cheerleader for Payson High School, and I was a fullback on Springville High School's football team. We played a game in Springville, which was on a field that was down behind the old Park Rocher swimming pool. I was running a sweep, and the whole Payson team caught me on the sidelines and knocked me for a loop through the cheerleaders, and I knocked this girl down. And I thought, well, she's cute, and she had this neat ponytail. Well, come to find out, she was a cheerleader and the only one on her squad that had a ponytail. Then we met at the University of Utah. Our freshman year, we were lined up on a blind date by a guy in my dorm. His name was Bill Bond, and we met at a dance, well, as a social at the Institute, and that was our first meeting.
Well, this is the way I remember it. We were at the University of Utah, and we had a mutual friend. We had two mutual friends, Linda Hales, and she was going with Bill Bond. And Bill was was rooming at Ballop Hall with Jerry, and so somehow, I don't know how exactly they arranged it, but we met down at the Institute of Religion, and I think Jerry asked Bill to line us up. Or Bill decided to line us up. So anyway.
First of all, two things happened, and I don't know in what order. One was, Mom was a cheerleader, and she got run over by this football player who I'm thinking she thought was kind of cute. And then I think what happened next is that later on she saw him in a program where he was singing with a quartet or something, and she thought he was cute. But the real story is that at the University of Utah, a mutual friend set them up on a blind date. Yeah.
Dad was playing football for Springville High School and was knocked out of bounds and knocked over a Payson cheerleader. And it turned out to be Mom.
When Mom was working in a onion field in Payson, Utah, and Dad was driving through in a nice big car, cruising the fields, and stopped to take a bite of an onion, and sweet Mary Ellen, Ruth, Christine was there, and they took a duck under a row of onions, and that was it.
I think they met at the high spot in Springville. I really just am kidding. I think, if I remember it, my guess is that they met at a farewell by I don't remember. But I think they met. Next question.
Mom and Dad met when she was a cheerleader for Payson, and he was a football player for Springville High School. And she was cheering at a game, and he was tackled and run into her. I don't think that's right, but somehow they met that night when...
there's all this talk about Dad playing football and crashing into the sidelines and knocking over a cheerleader, but the real story is actually Dad was walking on a beach, and this is what I heard at least, and there were all these starfish, and he was throwing them into the water, and along comes this girl, and she's like, "There's no way you can save all those starfish. What are you doing?" And you can't make a difference. And Dad threw one into the ocean and said, "Made a difference to that one." And Mom was hooked ever since. So that's how they met.
First kiss that I recall was when I was in the MTC, and she picked me up one night when we went out to dinner, and when she brought me back, I kissed her goodnight. Kiss that I recall was when I was in the MTC, and she picked me up one night when we went out to dinner, and when she brought me back, I kissed her goodnight.
Now the first kiss is questionable. I personally can't remember the exact first kiss, but I can remember meaningful kisses. So we dated, just before Jerry, maybe it was even after the mission call or before the mission call, we dated quite a bit, spent quite a bit of time together at the U of U. So I'm sure we must have kissed now and then. But I know for sure the first kiss was not when I said goodbye to him when he went into the mission field. As he was standing in the circle kissing all of his family and came to me and then said, "Oh, what the heck," and gave me a big smackaroo. That would not have been the first kiss.
Natalie Wood. Natalie Woods from West Side Story.
In looks, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but in looks, I think Harold B. Lee. President Harold B. Lee has the square face, and his hair was the same as Jerry. So I'd look at him and I think, that's how Jerry looks. So in terms of looks, I was President Harold B. Lee.
Yeah, we had talked about getting married, and we talked about getting a ring, and I was picking her up from Payson to go to Salt Lake to buy the ring. And as we were driving on the road between Payson and Spanish Fork, we both realized I'd never asked her to marry me. So we stopped the car and I asked her.
Okay, this was interesting. The little road that goes from Trita's area in Spanish Fork to Payson, that little road, and it has a name, but I can't remember what it's called. Mill Road or something. Well, he pulls off to the side, and he said, and he proposed, and I accepted. But the thing that was really interesting is that he had also precursored this one night with, could you be ready to be married? And I said I could not. I could not get married. First of all, I didn't know how to cook, I didn't know how to sew, and I wasn't interested. So when he finally did pull off the road in the middle of the day and asked me to marry him, I, of course, threw it all to the wind and said yes.
1955, red and white DeSoto.
How much did it cost?
$500.
This is an interesting thing. In my way of thinking, the first car was the one that Carlisle and Glenita gave us, a red Ford Falcon, for like a month. And when they found out that I had a little Chevy, they promptly took the car back. I always thought that was the strangest thing. Now, if you were to say, what car did we buy together? Jerry knows all the cars. It's very left-brained. I don't even pay attention to that. But one car that I really, really loved was the baby blue and white Mustang that we had.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lollipop.
Vivacious. Because she was always, that's what attracted her to me, was she was kind of a bundle of energy and happy-go-lucky and very vivacious and active in almost everything she did.
Love and dance a Mama Rama.
Amazing.
Why?
Because I think she can do about anything, and she'll be able to handle all of us and Dad in a billion situations, and came through with flying colors. So
The one word that describes Mom is loving. She's always shown great devotion and love toward her kids and family, and very emotional and always expressive of her love for us.
Mom in one word is constant. You can always rely on Mom's opinion, the way she does things, and the way she'll answer a question. She is reliable and loyal, so constant is my word for Mom.
Is graceful. And that might seem obvious because Mom is graceful in the way she moves and dances, but she's also graceful in the way that she treats other people. She's graceful in her spirituality, in the way she lives her life, and she's graceful in her interaction with others.
Mom, in one word, would be balanced, because she has so many talents and does so much for everyone else. Somehow she balances life, whether it was with work, family time, being a wife, holding a church calling, spirituality. She did it all and never complained really, and was a very balanced person.
And hoping we'll meet again, oh, life could be a dream. If only all my precious...
Generous. Because I have noticed this is one of his very finest qualities through the years. He's a generous nature in wanting to help others and wanting to give, wanting to spend, wanting to go on vacations and trips and make the children happy, the grandchildren. He's generous. He wants to include everybody and do something for everybody.
Dad, how about fun, work 'em a camperman? Is that one word? Awesome.
I would say thoughtful. That's when I think about it, I think about how no matter how many times we'd all been to Lake Powell and gone to Rainbow Bridge, if there were 30 people in camp and one person hadn't been to Rainbow Bridge, Dad's gonna make sure they saw Rainbow Bridge.
Say very kind and funny. I don't know, maybe those both go together, but always been very kind to everybody, not only his kids and those he meets, but very outgoing in the community and kind and very easy to talk with and get along with.
I have more than one word. He's very supportive and loving, and I've always felt that from Dad, and I still feel it from him. And as an adult, both in my kids and in my life and my endeavors and everything like that. So I do love you, Dad, for the support you give and both emotionally and all my choices I've made, even if you disagree.
When I think of Dad, I think of someone who is generous. He's generous in many aspects of his life. He is generous in his kindness and service to others. He's generous in his sharing the things that he has with other people and in his love.
One word to describe Dad would be giving. No matter what it was, Dad was willing to let someone borrow it. I remember letting the boys as teenagers take the boats and the trailers and whatever it was with their friends and just let them use it and have a good time and make great memories. Dad was always giving and willing to let people enjoy his what he enjoyed and create their own experiences. So
I know you belong.
Chocolate cake.
My favorite dessert is really delicious chocolate cake.
You belong to me.
Dad's favorite dessert. Well, he really loves ice cream, for sure. I think that's probably as close as I can get, is that he really loves ice cream. Maybe chocolate almond fudge.
Apple pie.
Way down.
Go. I jumped on the trampoline, point my toes, and then point my toes, and point my toes. I love to watch Mom jump on the trampoline. It's so pointy.
One time she was backing out of the garage and she didn't know Jennifer had parked her brand new Altima in the driveway, and she backed into it. She was so upset. She got out, looked at the car, realized that she made a dent in Jennifer's new car. And she was jumping up and down outside, saying a magic word to see if it would fix it.
My favorite funny memory about Mom, and this may not be my favorite, but it stands out as being funny to me now. It wasn't funny then, but when you backed the truck up and over the hood of Jennifer's new car, and you came in and you were so upset and you just were letting the four letter words fly, and they were flying letters all over the room in the air. And I can remember that, and I just, now when I think about that, I just started to giggle. It was so funny because it's not like you. Sorry to take advantage of you like that, but that made me laugh.
It was at Jared and Melinda, was at Melinda Whitaker's cabin, and Ryan was making her say something funny, and it was actually a swear word, but she didn't realize that what she was saying was a swear word, so she kept saying it, and we kept laughing and laughing and laughing, and she kept looking confused and trying to figure out, what am I saying that's making them laugh? So she would say it again, and we'd laugh and laugh and laugh, and then she would try to figure it out. So she'd say it again, and she just kept saying it over and over and over, and it was pretty.
a funny memory about Mom is whenever I picture Mom, and it just makes me smile when I think of going to Lake Powell, and I could just picture Mom floating out in the water with her t-shirt and cut off jean shorts with a giant orange life jacket wrapped around her neck, just floating out there with her toes pointed out of the water with a smile on her face. That is my memory of Mom, and it always puts a smile on my face as well. I remember being in the kitchen about 12 years old, and Bethany mouthing off to Mom, and I think she said a swear word to Mom, and I'd never really seen Mom go off like this, but you know when Mom gets really mad, she kind of does this thing, like, and she tenses up, and you know she's about to lose it. Well, she did that. She went and ran after Bethany and just smacked her face up, and Bethany ran out the door crying, and I just stood there like, that was awesome. So anyway, that was a funny memory, and just had to add that. Good job, Mom. Sorry, Bethany.
One funny memory is just when we were first married, how many times he locked us out of the car. Like at the University of Utah, I'll bet you like 3 or 4 times in the first week, he seemed to lock the car and left the keys in there. So that's one of my memories is, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Another interesting memory I have is when I wasn't there, but when he told me about how a robber came into the store in Salt Lake City and tried to rob him and grabbed for the medication, and Jerry grabbed back, and the guy pulled Jerry across the counter, if you can imagine. So so they got him before he could actually, I can't remember if he got away or not, but he pulled Jerry right across the counter. Other funny stories, I'm sure there's some, but I can't remember now.
Dad, this was kind of funny for me and not for you, but it was when I pantsed you in front of Corey, and I honestly didn't mean to. I just went to kind of fake that I was going to pull him down, and they just slipped right off. Sorry about that. Thank goodness for garments.
He got pantsed. Because you just saw that just the raw emotion come out of his face, because that's not, he would never do that to anybody, and to have that happen to him, it was just dang funny.
Probably last year, and I'm sorry, Dad, but it was so funny when we were up and Ryan got his truck stuck at the sand dunes, and and then when I was watching you try to cross over to help. Don't ask me how you're going to help, Dad. You're 73, but you were trying to cross the big rut that his truck had made, and you just went straight down. Slow motion. I'm sorry. I knew you weren't hurt, but it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Love you. Sorry.
I think of a funny memory of Dad. I think of a time where I made a choice that probably about 5 seconds before I did this, it was funny. And then when I did it, it really wasn't funny. And that was when I pantsed Dad in the garage in front of Aunt Corey. And I just want to blame this on my brothers, who taught me that pantsing was funny. And like I said, as soon as I did it, I realized that probably wasn't a good idea. But it's still my funniest memory.
When Dad used to fly those small planes, one year I was probably 9 or 10, and while I was waiting for Dad to get the plane ready, I loaded up on Cool Ranch Doritos and a bag of Starbursts, and we started flying to St. George for the Sunshine Tournament. Well, somewhere over Nephi, I got airsick and knew I was gonna throw up, and so Dad threw me a hoodie sweatshirt, and I just filled the whole hood up with vomit. And me feeling terrible, I looked up, and Dad was driving the airplane and looked at me and just started dry heaving and was holding it in as best as he could for the next hour and a half on our way to St. George. So good job, Dad.
Susie, wake up. Wake up.
It's the one about the forest burning. It's not ghosts. It's what's it called, Seth? You help me.
Always?
Always. Was that it? But it's the one about the forest that was burning in the airplane. I think that's his favorite. My favorite movie. My favorite movies I'm going to say movies because they'll be in the epics. The movies like Ben-Hur, El Cid, The Ten Commandments. I'm eager to see Anna Karenina that's coming out, Tolstoy's, because I like epics.
My favorite movie, I have several. I think we both like Count of Monte Cristo.
We gotta go home.
Well, she was very patient and disciplined, and she sometimes was sharp, but always showed forth an increase of love afterwards. 124 section of Dr. or something like that.
My style is not physical, but through understanding and love. Oh, I have done a couple of physical things, I admit, and so has Jerry. But mostly that's what we, and then respect. I think we have a respect for our children. And I think they feel it, and we love all of you.
I'd say Mom's style of discipline, it was firm but kind. She didn't yell. She got us to do stuff, but she was firm enough not to let us get away with crap.
Wooden spoon. She'd talk a lot about what her parents did. She asked, "You want me to get the wooden spoon?" And she actually had a wooden spoon. I can't remember getting hit with the wooden spoon, but I do remember getting my mouth washed out with soap.
Mom's style of discipline would be to clap her hands and scowl, and then hope I did it. And if I didn't do it, she'd beat Matt up.
Again, I think it's constant. I can expect, I know that's kind of a cop-out, but you kind of know mom and dad are going to agree with one another, and I think it's very logical and has enough restraints but enough freedom. You know, you had give and take, and I appreciate that, and I've actually tried to raise my kids that way. I don't know if that's a good answer.
I do remember a couple of times I said something naughty to her. She had to smack my mouth with a brush, and I do not blame her. I would probably do the same thing. But really, Mom didn't yell. I just think Mom's an angel, especially since I'm a parent now, and I think of how I discipline, and compared to my parents, they were so kind and loving, and I just hope that I can be the same.
Mom's style of discipline was always very calm, very balanced again, except for when Bethany would mouth off. She would definitely let Bethany have it, but she was very calm and very trusting. I don't remember ever getting spanked or smacked or yelled at actually by Mom, so.
Dad's style of discipline, he's been good to talk to the kids. He's never been really physical, so that's been good because both of us like talking and maybe eliminating a privilege, you know, discipline. We wanted to always trust you kids until you proved that we couldn't, and then we had to eliminate a privilege or some kind of a small penalty. But mostly it's been through love.
Just hit him on the head with the club.
Back up.
Dad was, he used intimidation a little bit. Ryan and I'd be up late playing policewoman when we were underneath the beds, you know. But anyway, screwing around, and Ryan was really more the policewoman. I was just his assistant. And then when Dad would get mad, he'd come stomping across the hall and made sure you knew he was coming across the hall. I remember one time he came in and just whacked the closet and bent the hinges, and it never did close again. He never even fixed them. It was a reminder.
Dad has two styles of discipline. Number one is to chase you down the stairs and shake the closet doors till it breaks. And number two would be to bring you into the pit and sit down and kindly tell you how disappointed he was and that you only got so much freedom, and how you use that freedom will say whether you get more or less.
Dad's style of discipline was to agree with Mom and then get in the car if it was really late and come find with a little muscle. Come find one of us with a little muscle backing it up. So.
Anything, but I remember Dad talking to me, and he kept asking me questions, and I kept giving answers, and he kept talking in a way that basically I realized through this little discussion with him what I had done wrong, why it was wrong, and why I shouldn't do it. And it was like he had tricked me into disciplining myself. So that's what I think of Dad. Very wise, patient.
Dad would give you just enough freedom, just enough trust, just enough rope until you hung yourself with it. Mom and Dad put a lot of trust in their kids and gave us a lot of freedom and allowed us to make our own decisions. And when we decided to make wrong decisions, they would pull the reins back and take away things. And it was actually a very effective way, I think, of raising kids.
She was afraid to come out of the locker.
Actually, I can't think of a song that reminds me of Dad. I can't. We never had a song as far as I remember. So, Teddy Bear's Picnic. He's a big bear.
Saturday is a special day. It's the day to get ready for Sunday. Bye, Lola, baby. Bye, Lola, baby.
All the songs I think about from Mom come from the 50s. But one she used to sing to us, kind of reminds me of her, is
Big girls don't cry.
I'm sure it goes different than that, but it was actually a 50s song. I think mostly of being in the trailer with a 8-track tape of Eddie Arnold, just going over and over and over. I actually liked Eddie Arnold, I still do, but
A song. Well, there's a couple things in music. I'd say all 50s music, because she dances around and loves 50s music, but probably also the theme to Woman the Pioneer. I don't know if I have a specific song too, but I'd say all 50s music and quartet music. I think anytime I hear quartet music, especially in the 50s, I think of Dad and Screw.
Okay, this is the song that reminds me of Mom. Mom comes in, doesn't think anybody's watching. She'll sit down at either her piano or our piano, and she plays that, I think it's Tommy Edwards song, and it's the one that goes, dun 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 dun. So that reminds me of Mom. I just think it's funny. I'll always remember that. But it's a Johnny Edwards song called I can't remember. It's every morning at the mine you could see him arrive. Stood 6'6" and weighed 245. Kind of narrow at the collar, narrow at the hip. Blah 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 blah. Give me some grip, Big John. Big John. Big John. Big Bad John.
Big Bad John.
Big John.
I think if I had to choose, I'd probably pick the genre of 50s music because Mom gave me a love of 50s music, which I probably wouldn't care for if it weren't for her. Specifically the song Kisses Sweeter Than Wine.
And how does that go?
I don't know if I should embarrass myself right now, but okay, well. She had kisses sweeter than wine. Sweeter than wine.
Well, I asked her to marry and be.
Along the same lines, he gave me a love for the Kingston Trio, but specifically one song that always reminds me of Dad when it comes on is the Oompa Loompa song from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka. Because when I was a little girl, he used to call me Oompa Loompa and he used to sing that song to me.
Julie, hang down your head and cry.
It was easy. Everyone keeps saying 50s music, and definitely what comes to my mind when I think of Mom is Buddy Holly, the roller coaster song where it's every day it's a getting closer, going
faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way.
And driving to southern Utah, sitting in between Mom and Dad in the big giant red Ford truck, and Dad playing the soundtrack to Paint Your Wagon. When will we get there? I don't know. Dun, 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 I ain't certain. Dun, 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 you know that song? And then also The Wind. And they call the wind Mariah. Dad, sorry, I never really caught on to your music, but definitely reminds me of you.
And heard her wail.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
So I think Lake Powell's one, and I think Camping in the Mountains is another. Yeah, I think those two are real good. For me, well, I'd have to probably agree on both of those also. I love Lake Powell, and we used to love camping in the trailer with the kids. Those are good. Yeah.
Spot.
Lake Powell.
Where's yours?
Lake Powell.
The Richards Building. I spent a lot of time with her there.
Lake Powell.
Lake Powell. He made it. In cohorts.
I can't go by Funfinity downtown without remembering the white striped awning and Art City Pharmacy and just all the little things that were cool about having that pharmacy there. Getting candy sacks for trips, pickles and Lay's potato chip.
Her bathroom, reading her journal. No, just kidding. I'd say besides home, places that remind me of Mom, I'd say the Richards Building, and places we go to, I know she loved Lake Powell. So I think mostly home, but I'd say Richards Building and Lake Powell. And for Jerry, of course, the pharmacy, and has to be the Richfield Mountain, and the wonderful times we shared up there and experiences.
The place that reminds me of Mom is probably Lake Powell. It's one reason I like going there with her. I can see her, like I said, just leaning over the front of the boat with her arms stretched out, hair blowing back, and really just being free. And you know, of course, I'd think that's where basically we grew up. So Lake Powell, Richfield, easy. I can never go to any of the places up there, Paradise, any of those roads we used to road hunt, Porcupine Pass or our campground, or even the base of the hill in Richfield City without thinking about my dad. And that'll forever be ingrained in my mind. And I thank you for it, Dad.
This might seem obvious, but it's just a place I cannot go to without seeing and thinking of Mom everywhere, and that's the Richards Building at BYU. Obviously, she spent a lot of time there, but I spent a lot of time there with her, and so I have so many memories. BYU in general, but specifically the Richards Building, the hallways, the dance rooms, her office. Also kind of obvious, but would be the pharmacy. And the reason I associate Dad with that, obviously he worked there, but because I worked there with him, and many of us did, I have so many memories of him there, you know. Most of the time growing up we were at school and he was at work. But that is a place that I just will always think of Dad as pretty much any pharmacy.
The place that reminds me of Mom, home, correcting papers, and the hall that they call Dejong at BYU. Taking classes at the HVAC, I always thought of Mom when I saw that concert hall and all the concerts she held in there for the children's concerts. Place that reminds me of Dad is obvious, it's Lake Powell. Creating great memories since we were little babies till we were teenagers and even further. Lake Powell is definitely Dad's realm.
That smell when you walk into the Richards Building. There's just a smell there, but that was Mom's place. Not that the smell is Mom, but the Richards Building. If I ever see the Richards Building, I always think about Mom.
Don't search for a name to blame, just solve the problem. Don't question the task, do what you're asked. And there's another one, just a second. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Don't question the task, do what you're asked. Don't search for a name to blame, just solve the problem. Get your ass in bed before I kick it. I think of one night when we were supposed to be doing the dishes, and Jennifer and I were arguing about who was supposed to do it, and Dad got fed up with it because I think Mom was gone. She was coming home. It was supposed to be done. He just comes in. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'll do it. And kicks us out of the kitchen. I'm not sure he ever did it. I'm not sure he knows how. I don't think I've ever seen him do the dishes.
He sings. One particular, we don't search for a name to blame, just solve the problem. Dad's famous saying would be, Ryan, don't tell your other siblings this, but you're my favorite son.
Yes, I can repeat a lot of them. Don't search for the name to blame, just solve the problem. The ones I say to my kids all the time that I can't remember right now. Yeah, quiet back there or I'm gonna bruise your ear.
Yes, the momism I think of most is don't question the task, do what you're asked. And this house is not a gymnasium. And I find myself saying the same thing to my kids who look at me and say, what's a gymnasium? That would have to be, we're gonna have fun. And I guess I think of that mostly with the grandkids. I don't remember that so much when we were little, but with the grandkids around. And I also taught my kids recently that Dad always said, stop rhyming and I mean it. Does anybody want a peanut? So I always think.
The momisms are very easy to remember. Don't question the task, do what you're asked. Don't search for a name to blame, just solve the problem. And the one that fits for me is definitely, this house is not a gymnasium, because that's all it was for me, was a gymnasium. Basketball, football, whatever. The house was a gymnasium. Also, on a more serious note, she would always say, counsel with the Lord in all thy doings. So remember that from your mom. A dadism. I remember Jared and Ryan and all their buddies bringing their friends over, and even when I brought my buddies over, Dad would always ask us, hey guys, what you doing, chasing chickies? And that always sticks out. That's kind of Dad's famous line. Hey guys, what you doing, chasing chickies?
She is caring. Yes. She's thoughtful. She's interested in her children. She's goes the extra mile to have fun with her grandkids and to know what her children are doing and to have family fun. I've thought about this many times before. It's a really good one. Dad's best quality is giving and sharing, and they go in one. Because he's Dad, you're always willing to share whatever you have, no matter who asks for it, and you don't do it with a bad attitude. You're always sincerely and kindly willing to give and share.
Mom's best quality, she can make anybody feel at ease instantly. She's always, you know, she's touchy, but in a good way.
Dad's best quality together. And I think it's their dedication to family and the examples they've given us. So throughout our lives, just both the financial support while we were growing up and on our missions and the emotional and love support that we needed growing up. So I'd say that would be their number one quality.
She's loyal. She's loyal to friend, to spouse, and to the Lord. Dad's qualities, he's likable. He's likable by everybody. He is accepting as well. And we feel that, and so do my children. They just love him because he's so likable and accepting. They'll just crawl up on his knee and just like we did and love him because they feel it from him.
Mom's best quality, and again, it's so hard to pick, but I think for me, because whenever I need to talk to Mom or need advice or have a problem going on in my life, this particular quality in Mom has always been dear to me, and that's the way she maintains her perspective on life and the life hereafter, and just what is really important. And sometimes it's hard for me to see clearly. I react quickly to things and I don't always see things clearly, and she has a perspective that can put me right where I need to be, and I can say, you're right. I think I didn't really know this about Dad till I became an adult, but one thing I love about Dad is that he's so easygoing. And maybe Mom would say, what? He's not easygoing? But I didn't know, this is how I know him. And that he just goes with the flow. I know when I had Josh and he came to Wichita Falls, and he was there for a few days, and you know, I just had a baby and we didn't go anywhere and we didn't do anything fun, and he was totally fine just sitting there with us and hanging out and watching CNN, and he really genuinely just is easygoing, and I love that.
Mom's best quality is her example, just the way she's taken life on and stayed positive through everything that we've all experienced in life, and her spirituality, her strength, and just her positive, fun personality. Her great example. Dad's best quality to me is his trust that he puts in the people around him, especially his children. He trusts his children and allowed us to make our own decisions and think for ourselves, and wasn't a helicopter kind of dad, but was definitely there to give advice and steer us in the right direction when needed.
Dad's best quality is, I really think that he's caring. You know, he honestly cares about everybody else around him, and you know that when you're around him.
So my two favorite vacation places with Mom and Dad are Disneyland and Lake Powell. So my favorite Disneyland vacation memories are the Suburbans breaking down, either on the way there or on the way home. And then Lake Powell, my favorite memories are just going. I love Lake Powell.
For some reason, I think back on going up Nephi Canyon Ranch Camp. We went there a couple of times. One time Jennifer got stung by a bunch of yellow jackets. One time I thought it was cool that you could go up there and then, like, whenever you wanted, you could go to the swimming pool or go in and play pool at the pool table. And I think, I can't remember if they had bicycles you rode around there or something, but Jared almost drowned there in the pool. But that was kind of funny to think about it now, because it's not very far away and it's not a big deal, but it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to roll these into one. What is our growing up and looking back at things that I remember growing up, has to be our Lake Powell trips, and how much fun and preparation and know-how went into all those, and also our trips to places like Disneyland and road trips that we took to California. Those have fond memories when I was growing up.
From, of course, the myriad of Lake Powell's, the boats sinking, to Ridgefield and being locked out of the Suburban as a 3, 5, probably 6-year-old, and freezing my keister off while everybody else was sleeping. That wasn't my favorite. I don't know why I brought that up, but probably deer hunting and Lake Powell for me are my favorites. I don't know if there's a specific, but I will always draw on those as my favorite places to go.
This might be a common theme, but my favorite vacation memory would have to be at Lake Powell. Once again, just so many good memories of going there, camping on the beach, being with family. What I think about most is being in the trailer with my family, and that kind of goes for anywhere we were at in the trailer. Playing games in the trailer, and also riding on the boat, and just looking at the beautiful scenery and feeling the warm sun on my skin. My dad driving and my mom flying on the bow of the boat.
Vacation memory, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's something that always sticks out in my mind, is when we had our two boats, the large boat and the small ski boat, parked in a canyon one year, and it was probably Melinda's first vacation with our family. And Ryan and Corey woke up in the middle of the night in about 6 inches of water underneath the bow of the boat, and we all woke up, the whole camp, and came together to find our boat half underwater, sinking as we were sleeping on it. Everyone came together and worked together at about 3 in the morning to save the boat and to make sure our vacation wasn't ruined. So that's definitely a standout memory. But most of my memories that are favorite come from Lake Powell and cruising up the canyons and finding a camp spot, having waterfalls shoot over the cliffs and trying to swim underneath them, and watching, you know, Mom and Dad float and try to swim underneath them and have the waterfall just blow us out into the middle of the lake. It was just a lot of fun, those camping and boating and Lake Powell memories.
Out the window go the beans, out the window go the
A
beans.
fun memory I have with Grandma, oh man. I was thinking about this, I was thinking about back when I was a kid, and I used to hang out with that Grandma and Grandpa's house a lot during the summer when I was young, when I first moved to Utah. When I was like 8 or 9, or even younger than that. Well, we'd always go snail hunting. We'd walk around the neighborhood and grab the snails. And then the best part was just hanging them out on the cement, and Grandma would give us a huge jar of salt and we'd just dump them and watch them wither away. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. I loved doing that. I can remember that like it was yesterday. Out and about, going at it. Alright, it's like my memory with Grandpa. I can remember back when I was a kid, a really long time ago. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember coming over. It was either when we were living in Iowa or in California, and I would go jump in a plane with Grandpa, and I think my dad too, and we'd actually go fly around. I can really remember that. I think one time I was so scared for some reason. I was just a little kid, and I didn't know what was going on. So I can remember as he was taking off, I was screaming like a little girl, just crying, and my dad was just trying to calm me down. And then after a while, I actually really got into it, and I really loved it. It was so much fun. I loved flying with Grandpa.
My favorite memory is when our cousins come over to Grandma's house, and she puts on her snowflake music, and we all dance like we're snowflakes.
Probably when we were little kids and we were playing on the ground, and Grandpa, when he snapped his fingers and we became an animal, and then we were asleep and stuff.
Going to Provo Beach Resort with Grandma and Grandpa.
What did you do there?
We went on the rope course.
Probably my favorite memory of Grandma is when we were little and she would take us to go get Tiger's Blood slushies. That's or when she would take us to the fish hatchery. Those are some good memories I have. I remember when I was little, Grandma would take us to go see Grandpa at the pharmacy, and I thought it was the coolest thing that Grandpa got to work with all the medicine and just being behind the desk, and I just loved to go see him down at the pharmacy.
One of my favorite memories of Grandma Chris, crap, I can't think of the one I was going to think of. Oh, would be when I was young and I would sit on her lap and we'd sing songs out of the Little Yellow children's book. My favorite memory of Papa would be sitting on his lap and he'd tell jokes to me.
My favorite memory of Grandma Chris is dancing with her at the New Year's parties, talking about hunting and fishing with him.
I really like when she would dance in front of us at her house. Yeah. Well, I really liked when we made homemade root beer. That was really fun.
One is when Grandpa would be like, when I snap my fingers, you will be a tiger. And then he would like run around being a tiger or something.
I remember when he'd say dog, we all go and like lick each other.
She gave us ice cream. He watched a movie with us, a 3D one.
Grandma.
They gave me cookies.
I think my favorite memory is when we did dance at BYU with Grandma. I liked going to Thanksgiving Point when we were little and going on the adventures with Grandpa.
Probably when we went to Lake Powell with Carrie and Troy. She was just so happy and stuff, and it was really fun with her. When we were at IHOP, and I asked him if I could have a sleepover with him, and he said to ask my mom, and we had a sleepover and watched Star Wars.
Making cookies with her, I guess. Yeah. Going to jumping jacks.
When they took us to the Copper Mine.
And what did you do there?
We went and had fun.
When I went to the cabin with them,
What did you do there?
we played outside because it was snowing. Playing with them? Play upstairs.
What do you like to play upstairs?
With her dollhouse.
What do you like to do with Grandpa?
I like to watch movies. Can't remember any, but probably.
When all of my cousins would come over for one night in the weekend, we would go have a sleepover, and he would buy us all model airplanes so that we can build them and show each other what we did.
When she reads out of that book that we have the funny things that we say and all this stuff.
Yeah, I got a couple. I remember when we lived in Arizona and we came and surprised her for her retirement recital, and I remember she was so surprised and she started crying, and that made me feel good. And then when she came home off her mission and she saw the kitchen and all the work everyone had put in, and she kind of just sat on the floor and just enjoyed all of everyone's hard work. Those are other good memories I have of Grandma. I remember attacking Grandpa with my dinosaur puppet when I was little, and his Who Wake Me Up. That was always a grandkid favorite.
Funny memory of Grandma Chris would be her fairy nightgown. And a funny memory of Papa would be, no matter how painful it was, the relentless teasing of my non-existent boyfriend.
Grandma's dancing is kind of funny. Grandma's dancing is funny.
I always remember going around the house playing flutes with them, and just making random sounds, and everybody would always be laughing at us.
I really liked collecting snails with them. That was fun.
Why was that fun?
Cause we would go and then we would go on a little adventure on a walk, and then we'd find snails and then pour salt on them.
I don't know. She's always funny. Same thing. They're both always making me laugh.
It's not a particular memory. It's every time we'd see her, she'd always say, "Oh boy, that joy." This is also not a particular memory, but every time he'd eat, he'd always slop his dripper, and everybody would say that, and he would just laugh about it and stuff.
He was reading ghost stories and he scared all the cousins. She was going to pick up our green exercise ball, but when she put it down, it rolled back out the door. And Grandpa was sleeping. I yelled at him and he didn't wake up, and I yelled again louder, but he didn't wake up.
Now, one word I would use to describe Grandma would be cheerful. I don't think there's ever a time that I ever saw Grandma never happy. She's always got a smile on her face, or she's always laughing, and she's always just so happy all the time, and I love that about her. She's so awesome. I love you, Grandma. You're awesome.
Happy, because she's happy all the time no matter what happens.
Your head.
Probably happy.
That she likes to talk and laugh all the time.
The word for Grandma Chris would be kisses, because she would just always give us so much love and attention when we were younger, and just give us a lot of kisses. So kisses would have to describe Grandma Kiss.
Bubbly. Because whenever you see her, she's never down. She's always happy, so excited to see everyone. and never has a frown.
Playful.
Why?
She plays with the kids and dances with them. Always partying with them.
A teacher.
Why?
Because she just teaches a lot of stuff to me and she's a good example.
Amazing.
Dance. Creative.
If I say grandma, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
G.
Loving. Because she is always giving us hugs and kissing our face and being nice.
Funny, actually. Kind of like grandma, I guess.
Really, really, really nice.
When I watch movies with Grandma,
Yeah.
opening presents.
Now, a word to describe Grandpa, I think one great word would be inspirational. Because as I've grown up, I've always seen Grandpa always do what he had dreamt of doing. Whether that just be with work, even to flying a plane. He loves to fly. And I just wanted to, he's just been a great example and always has done what he wants to do, and it's a great example to me of how I always need to follow my dreams. So thanks, Grandpa.
Just laugh because I love it. He's just happy and laughs with everyone.
That he likes to tickle you.
Grandpa in one word would be entertaining. Grandpa always made it a point when we were younger to always have us smiling and laughing in any way that he could, whether it was with his wake me up joke or just telling us a good joke. Grandpa always made it a point to make us happy.
Witty. Ever since I was young, I can always remember him making me laugh so hard, and to this day.
Lovable. He's just, the reason why he's so lovable is he's always there, always willing to talk to you, always huggable. That's another word. Huggable.
Adventurous.
Why?
Because he always took the 4 boys on adventures to the copper mine and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Huggable.
Huggable.
Fun.
What's the first word that comes to your mind to describe Grandpa? R.
Grandpa is fun because he always takes us on adventures and makes us root beer, and he's fun.
Awesome. Jumping jacks.
Really, really, really nice. Grandpa sleeps.
Grandpa sleeps.
Play toys.
Grandma and Grandpa, congratulations on 50 years of marriage, and thank you for showing me as well as the other grandkids what true love is. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's hard to find that in today's world, and thanks for always being there for us and just making growing up an awesome experience, and thanks for being a great example for me as I get ready to leave on my mission and just tackle the real world. Thanks for being the best example that you guys can be for me. Love you guys.
I'm so glad that I can be your favorite oldest granddaughter. That's all.
I just want to say, way to go, guys, making it to the 50th anniversary. Love you too, and have a good one.
Good luck.
You're the best grandparents ever. I was really sad when you left on your mission, but I'm so glad you're back now. You're so much fun. I love you.
Well, I remember when Grandma was my dance teacher, and me and Lauren were in the same class. Grandma was always pushing me to do my best, and I thank her for that. And Grandpa for all the fun things, because I've just had so many good memories with them. So.
For anniversary, and thanks for being my grandma and grandpa. Happy anniversary, I love you.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary,
I love you.
I love you.
Happy anniversary. And have a good anniversary. Love you.
Happy anniversary, and I'm glad you got married, because if you didn't, then I wouldn't be born, and I wouldn't have a good life as I would have with someone else. Have fun.
Hi, Grandma and Grandpa. Happy anniversary.
I love you.
I love you.
Can you give him a kiss?
You're the good grandparents.
Love you.
Happy anniversary, I love you.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay.
Happy anniversary.
Say I love you.
I love you.
Is there anything you want to tell Grandma and Grandpa?
Mm-mm.
Say I love you.
Grandma, Grandpa, I just want to tell you that I love you very much. Thanks for your examples that you've been to me. And thank you so much for your letters. I'm sorry I haven't written you back, but I promise I will get to you. But it's so fun to always get a letter from someone every week, so thank you. I love you guys and happy 50th wedding anniversary. See ya.
Happy anniversary. I love you guys and I hope you guys have a great day.
Happy anniversary, I love you.
Happy anniversary, I love you.
Happy anniversary.
I love you.
I love you. Papa.
Say mwah.
You blow kisses?
Ma.
Say bye-bye.
Yes, I want to say, Mom and Dad, happy anniversary. You're the best. Don't get me all sad. Matt didn't cry, right? He did cry? Okay. This is mean. Mom, stop your crying. Go cry in the bathroom. Just kidding. Thanks for being good parents. You raised 6 really good kids and you're a really good example to your grandchildren. I love you so much. And I just hope that I could be as good a parent to my kids as you were to yours. Thanks for all the fun memories and for going out of your way to make it a fun and a happy childhood. Thanks. I love you guys.
Well, happy anniversary, Jerry and Chris. Thank you so much for letting me into this family and enjoying the company of your beautiful wife in this journey called life, and for helping us so much foundationally and helping us every time we brought another one of these children into the world. I feel really welcome in your home. I appreciate that, and I'm really glad to be able to associate with such good people, such good examples, and just really appreciate everything that you do and love you, and want you to know that we love you, we think about you often, we missed you terribly while you were in Greece, and are glad that you set that good example for us and for our children, and hope that we can do our part as part of the family. I hope that I can as well, and just really want to congratulate you on sticking through these many years and raising such a great family. I know it's not ever easy, and I'm glad that you're both here with us, and look forward to many more fun years. And happy anniversary. Love you.
Fantastic job of parenting they did. We have great parents. They're great examples. My kids have awesome grandparents. I wish I'd had grandparents like you guys. And I'm just grateful that you're my parents, and happy anniversary.
Hey, Chris and Jerry.
just wanted to wish you a happy 50th anniversary, and thank you for being such wonderful examples to us and for being great grandparents to our children. So happy 50th, love you.
Just to congratulate you guys on 50 years. I know that it's been a very wonderful and horrible time raising 6 kids, but we sure appreciate your dedication and the sacrifices you made for us. So just wanted to say how much I love you both, and thank you for all you've done.
Hi, you guys. Memories of Chris and Jerry. First of all, congratulations. Happy 50th. I can only hope that Ryan and I make it that far. I know we've almost hit our 20th, and it's awesome. But when I look back to the past 20 years that I have spent as an Ollerton, I have awesome, awesome memories. I think one of my first memories is, of course, Chris, the joy that I felt from you. I loved being a part of your classes and learning from you and watching you work with others, and of course watching you scare other students. But I loved you as a person, and then getting to meet Jennifer, and of course later meeting Ryan and becoming good friends with Ryan first before actually falling in love was such an awesome experience to work through and actually participate in with your family. I loved the little adventures, Jerry, that when Ryan and I were dating, that you would take us on, whether it be boating or hiking or hunting or anything like that. Some of those things that I didn't really experience as much growing up in a family of girls, I experienced with your family. And now, because of the way that you raised Ryan, our kids experience those same things. I think some of my greatest, I guess I should say, learning experiences or memories that go along with that are the way, Chris, that I have watched you as a mother and as a woman work with your husband and love your kids. Times that are important, I guess, just to be able to sit and laugh and be silly, and then times that are important that not to be that way. And I think that is something that I have tried to emulate from what you have done. Moments when I'm stressed and just been able to say, okay, it's okay. I think there's something to say about strong women in the gospel and what they experience in their lives and how they support their husband, and you emulate that for me. And I will never forget talks that we've had, experiences that I have felt from you as I've watched you grow and mother your children, as well as parent, or not parent, as well as be a wife to your husband. Jerry, I love watching you as the silent giant. It's not very often that I notice or that we hear you being the one that's in the middle of the kitchen dancing and being totally crazy with your grandkids. It's usually you that is quietly on the chair with one of your grandkids in your arms while you're quietly reading to them or stroking an arm or something like that. And I appreciate that portion and how the two of you work together to become the brother and sister Ollerton, the elder and sister Ollerton, the mom and dad, the Chris and Jerry that we all know and love. I am so glad that I get the honor to be a part of the Ollerton family and to be a part of the Ollerton legacy that we all share. And I hope you guys have an awesome and happy 50th anniversary.
I just want to say you guys are amazing. I look up to you more than you'll ever know. I love you so much. I appreciate your good example to me, to my marriage, to my children, and I'm just so glad you're my parents, and I'm so glad you guys have made it 50 years. If you guys can do it, we all can do it, and I just love you so much.
I was thinking about this, my mission president, I remember him, I don't know why we were talking about this one day, but he was talking about the impact that people have in your life and how to quantify, I guess, what kind of an impact they've had in your life. And I remember him saying, imagine life without those people. And and the feelings you get, not having them in your life, with the impact that they've had in your life. And so to think of Jerry and Chris not being in my life, I can't imagine. In so many ways, they are in every way parents of mine. I feel so blessed to be able to have had two sets of parents, and starting all the way back with my relationship with Jared, they've had an impact, not only in the way they raise their good kids and the influence and example their kids have had on me, but of course my marriage to Bethany, being able to be a son-in-law, has been, couldn't have asked for better parents. So thankful to be a part of their life in any small way, and to have had their influence in my life, and excited for them at this time. Happy anniversary.
Congratulations on the 50. I just think that's amazing. I can't believe it's here. I love you both dearly. I think you know that, and I try to show that, and I appreciate everything you've done for both me, my career, helping me move, loving my children, and I will always love each of you, and I wish you a happy anniversary. See ya.
Hi, Chris and Jerry. Just want to wish you a happy anniversary. 50 years is quite an accomplishment, and as an in-law, I want to thank you for sticking it out and raising such wonderful children, especially my wonderful spouse. I love you guys for loving my children and making them feel special, every single one, and for investing emotionally in them. As a parent, it means a lot to me. And I love you as my own parents. You've always treated me like one of the family, and I just want you to know I feel loved by you both, and I wish you a happy 50th anniversary. Thanks.
I just want to say happy anniversary, happy 50th. Hope this video finds you excited and happy and enjoying yourselves. We had a lot of fun making it and putting it together for you. Just want to say thank you for all you've done for me and my little family. My kids adore you guys as grandparents, and I just want to say thanks for being such fun grandparents, and especially showing the love that you show all the grandkids. They adore you and love you, and love to be at your house and go on adventures. I don't know if you realize how much they really do love you, and we love you as well. So happy 50th anniversary, and enjoy.
Happy 50th anniversary. I want to congratulate you guys on this amazing accomplishment, and thank you for welcoming me into this great family. I've always felt like you guys have treated me like a daughter, and I'm very proud to be in Ollerton, even though I'm still Abby Bledgy Ollerton, but Ollerton's there at the back, end of my name. I don't know a more selfless and giving couple than the two of you, not to mention patient, especially having a 3-year-old Mia running into your bedroom every day, jumping on your bed during Grandpa Jerry's nap time, waking him up, and the countless hours that Chris has spent with Mia, reading her books and playing with jewelry. You guys are great grandparents, and my children absolutely love you. Thank you for loving them and loving me, and congratulations once again, and lots of love.
Wow. 50 years. It's unbelievable. Seems like yesterday. It's probably a milestone I never thought I'd reach.
Like I say, this 50 years it's been an adventure. It's had its ups and it's had its downs. But we have learned a lot, and we couldn't be happier than we are with our children and our grandchildren and our children's spouses. We have the most wonderful family that you could ever imagine. And Jerry and I have pulled together, and we've learned a lot of things, and I think we've really tried to apply the atonement of the Lord in our relationship. So it's been good, we've learned a lot, and I just think it's wonderful that we've made it to 50 years, and yeah, it's been a good adventure. Now the first kiss is questionable.
Can you edit this?
Amazing.
They gave me cookies.
Wow. Wow. Chocolate cake.
Amazing.
Weirder than what?
An adventure.
Can you edit this?
Nice big car.
Wooden spoon.
Nice big car.
Weirder than what?
They gave me cookies.
Wow. 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 Chocolate cake.
Amazing.
Cookies. Cookies. They gave me cookies. Cookies.
Amazing.
Now the first kiss is questionable.
Nice big car.
Wow.
An adventure.